In this podcast, we discussed about one of the least tapped market in the wedding industry, and that is destination wedding. Plus, we also discussed about how you can build your startup after your corporate career. Today in our podcast, we have Ashish, CEO of Awayddings, a place where destination weddings are made easy. Listen to this complete podcast to understand how you can rock and roll your wedding business. So, sit back, relax, close all your tabs, and enjoy this value pack episode.
All right, guys. In this episode, we have someone who loves to solve problem. And currently he is solving problem for wedding industry and to be precise for destination wedding lovers. So Ashish bhai, welcome to this episode.
Thank you, Idan. Thank you. It was nice interacting with you before, and I was looking forward to this particular podcast. And let's have a good chat.
Yes. I reached out to you. I still remember I reached out to you and you instantly said that okay, podcast karna hai kya? I said yes, podcast karna hai. So yes, I'm really I like jumping right into the point. I like first I analyzed your profile and I saw your website and I really got excited कि यार ये कैसा है, like ये तो कुछ अलग लग रहा है मुझे. Like you are making destination wedding very easy. So मुझे ये जानना था कि ये कहाँ से आया आपका idea, from where you got this
Okay.
idea in the first place.
So, so basically, if you ask any founder about where the idea came from, so there are always two answers. Okay,
Hmm.
and most of the genuine founders जो होते हैं ना, उन लोग प्रॉब्लम जो है ना वो खुद फेस करते हैं नॉर्मली. ठीक है.
Hmm.
सो
Okay.
सो वेयर डू वी फेस प्रॉब्लम्स? नॉर्मली प्रॉब्लम्स हम लोग तभी फेस करते हैं इफ वी आर जेन्युइनली डूइंग समथिंग, राइट?
Right.
So let's say I had joined Oyo's weddings.in. So I was already working in wedding industry. So
Mm-hmm.
over there I figured out that there is destination wedding segment, which is a specific segment of wedding industry, which is not being catered upon. I mean, up to the mark, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And because of which there was a little bit of entrepreneurial, thing in my head before, because in my MBA I had done a entrepreneurship project which I thought I will be executing in the coming years,
Hmm.
but then
Okay.
I never thought when I will be executing. But then there was something that was always going on in my mind. So coming back to where the problem came from was I was working with Oyo's weddings.in segment, and over there I figured out that destination weddings. I was already in Goa, right? So Goa
Mm-hmm.
is the largest destination wedding
Yeah,
hub
in India.
for India, right?
Yep.
So I was more curious to understand as to why it is the largest destination wedding hub and why are people so much fancy about destination weddings.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to dig in more and I understood that okay, it is a problem faced by a lot of people. There is a problem that is there in this particular market wherein people are only thinking about the larger part of wedding industry, which is banquets, lawns, and
Hmm.
all these things. Wherein because India is not a luxury segment country, right? India is still a developing country
Yes.
which is having a lot of middle class population. So
Agree.
catering to a larger market is something which people focus on normally, but
Hmm.
nobody tries to get into the niche segment wherein there are less customers. So, like I mentioned before, I faced this particular problem when I was working with weddings.in at Oyo, and I
Okay.
thought that maybe I will be able to solve this particular problem. I didn't know whether I would be able to do it or not. I just gave it a try. And another way in which people figure out problems is understanding what is happening around us, right?
Hmm.
If let's say for example we are moving around, we are meeting people, we are traveling here and there, we see a lot of problems, right?
Right.
Lots and lots of problems. Uh,
Right.
Basic problem over here, let's say in Mumbai, if we are walking down the road or traveling somewhere, you see a lot of potholes. Okay,
Hmm.
potholes is a huge problem, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Another problem that we see in Mumbai is drainage, right?
Drainage.
So, so,
Yes.
so, so these are some of the problems which are still maybe the government is trying to figure it out, but
Hmm.
then young entrepreneurs like us should pitch in and try to solve this in a instantaneous manner. Maybe not take 4 5 years, 3 4 years of time and try to do it instantly, like we are doing it for 10-minute delivery and a lot of other things which is happening in the market,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
we see a lot of problems. There are a lot of problems in the market, especially in a country like India. There are so many problems that are still left to be solved. So uh, either you face the problem by yourself or you figure out what problems are people facing. These are the only two ways in which you get into your entrepreneurial journey. Apart from that, if anybody is getting into entrepreneurial journeys, it's because of the fad or the things that are happening around
Yeah,
around them, right?
I
So
agree. Yes.
so
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, you touched the point about you see the problem and you execute it. So, now talking about the execution part. Now, let's say you you did your job for quite a long time. So, how exactly you decided that, okay, boss, ab ho gaya. Now I have to move to becoming entrepreneur.
Oh, okay. That is a long story. I mean, this is not like a specific story or something wherein I mean, I don't think I've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs, and I figured out everybody had to take a risk, right? Some at
Right.
some point of the time or the other. Some
Yes.
everybody had to take a risk, right? We have to leave something where we are comfortable and move out of that comfort zone. So
Yes.
in 2020, so for me, I was very lucky to get a trigger during COVID-19, right?
Hmm.
So a lot of people say that COVID-19 was a bad phase in everybody's life, but I would say it was a good phase for me because in 2020, initial 1 or 2 months were very bad because I was already working with Oyo. After MBA, I had a fancy job working
Hmm.
in corporate
Hmm.
sales, handling a huge team, did hiring, a lot of things, and everything was fine until March 2020. I had to lay off my team, right? Uh, this was the worst phase of my life because I am very much into people management, empathy, teams, emotional intelligence, and a lot of things, right?
Hmm.
And I get very much affected by things that are happening around me, especially with someone who are very close to me, right? So I had to lay off my team. And after laying off the team, I had mentioned it in my previous post as well that eventually I also got laid off because of cost cutting. Because, of course, it's a huge company, it's a unicorn and all of that, but everybody has to manage their expenses and cost, right? Especially in tough times. So at this point of time, I realized, okay, my job is never safe. Okay,
Yeah.
this is not going to be safe anywhere. Yet I wasn't able to take a call whether to get into entrepreneurship or continue with my another job because I had already applied for other jobs, and being an MBA grad from a top institution, I immediately got an offer. So getting a job was not something that was very hard for me. At least I felt that. I got a job, and there was 1 month break in between,
Hmm.
wherein I had to prepare for the job, or maybe I will do something else. And at that point of time, when I was already in Goa, I was already thinking about what I can do in the future about this particular industry. Like I mentioned in few minutes back, I was already thinking कि अरे कुछ तो कर सकते हैं इस particular industry में.
Hmm. Hmm.
मतलब है प्रॉब्लम है. जैसे एक दोस्त ने कॉल किया था, मेरे को बोला था उसने कि अरे ब्रो मैं शादी कर रहा हूँ. तो मैंने उसको बोला गोवा में कर ले भाई. तो ही इज लाइक Bro, are you gone crazy? Destination wedding is not my cup of tea. It's a Bollywood thing. Yeah, I am not having crores and crores ka budget. I am going to do a destination wedding.
Hmm.
I'm going to do a wedding over here somewhere at a banquet hall or a lawn or somewhere else, very close. I will spend hardly 10 15 lakh rupees. Okay, so then I told him, you can get your destination wedding done in 7.5 lakhs. He got shocked. He got
Hmm.
shocked, and then he was like, कि कैसे? He went on to multiple websites. Okay, and then he contacted multiple wedding planners also just to cross verify whether it could be done in 7.5 lakhs,
Okay.
right? But nobody offered him a destination wedding in 7.5 lakhs. Whereas me sitting there in Goa already knew that it is possible. So at
Oh.
that point of time, I figured out, okay, there are people sitting at different parts of the country who are trying to understand whether it is possible or not. and
Hmm.
they don't know about this. So this was in 2020, around January, February, I guess. After that, to COVID-19 came. At that point of time, I started doing a little bit more research out of curiosity as to
Okay.
how is this particular industry, how many couples are there. Because see, we are MBA grads, we know how to do industry analysis and understand what is the market potential and all of that, right? So
Hmm.
try to understand. So interestingly, we figured out that around 1.2 crore couples get married in India every year. 1.2 crore couples. Okay.
Okay.
1.4 billion people, let's say 42 crore, 43 crore families. Okay. And out of
Hmm.
that, 1.2 crore couples. And we figured out that around 45% couples are interested in a destination wedding and have a budget for it. And that budget could be anything, whether it is 10 lakhs, 9 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. But we are
Hmm.
saying that it is possible in 7.5 lakhs, which means that we can cater to this particular audience if they know where this is getting offered from, as to who is
Hmm.
offering this, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
then, interestingly, only 5 to 6% couples end up getting married at a destination. So remaining 40% are not able to do a destination wedding, although they are thinking about it and then they have a budget. Okay. So I thought this is a good pain point, but then I didn't understand what entrepreneurship is, how to start a company, how to incorporate a company,
Hmm.
what to do,
Hmm.
like how to set up a brand and website and all of that. I only knew how to work for some company, how to generate a lot of sales, make a lot of money, incentives, etc. I didn't know how to think out of the box. Okay. But then, since I was a kid, I was always someone who used to try something which is different. Let's
Hmm.
say if we
Hmm.
are playing cricket in a tennis ball court, if we hit straight, it's a six. Okay, and there
Yeah.
is one circle over there ahead of that six, which is around 20-30 meters on the right hand side. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
and if you hit over there, you get 8 runs. Okay, but if you
Okay.
hit anywhere outside that, you get out. Okay,
Ah.
so what I used to do, we used to play 3 or 4 hours match. Okay, and after playing 3 hours ka match, 17 balls, 18th ball, I used to go and try for that 8 runs. Okay, I was very
Yeah.
ambitious. I always used to try something different, new, so that I can maximize my potential. So, I mean, just going down the line and trying to understand the
Okay.
thought process,
Yes.
because
Yes. Yes.
everything has a pattern in life, right? You do things that you have been doing for years.
Yes.
They say stock market mein there is a pattern and you follow the pattern and it keeps on happening,
Hmm.
right? Unless and until you break the pattern. So at that point of time in February, March, I thought maybe I will do something, but I didn't know how to do it. And then COVID-19 gave me a trigger. And then in between that 1 month ka time, I thought uh, maybe this is the time that I can, do something different. Give it a try, maybe entrepreneurship, because there were a lot of podcasts going on. There were a lot of unicorn companies, startups in the market.
Yes.
Startup ka
Yes.
boom tha pura, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it reaches, especially to the millennials. Right? It reaches in some way or the other. Social media pakad leta hai kahin na kahin.
Ha.
So I thought maybe this is my chance. Spoke to parents. They said, "You do whatever you want. We will support you," because they always thought कि अरे आशीष ने बोल दिया मतलब कर लेगा ये.
Hmm.
ठीक है.
Hmm.
So they were very supportive. But then, unfortunately, I chose my regular job path. Because I joined
Okay.
off business and I went to their Ahmedabad location. And simultaneously, I had spoken to one of the guys in Goa, and I thought, chalo, maybe we will start it off. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I started something over here in Goa, thinking कि I have started up already. But then at the same time, I thought maybe I won't be able to earn a lot of money because I was earning good money. And I thought if that particular amount of money is not hitting in my account, I won't be able
Hmm.
to sustain, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
once you get used to that particular amount of money,
Exactly.
it becomes very difficult to survive.
Yes. Yes.
Then I went for the job. I worked for 9 days. And on the ninth day, I quit.
Ninth day.
On the ninth day, I quit. It was a
Okay.
high paying job. I had to quit because I thought maybe I will take risk in my life. This is my only chance. I cannot put my 2 feet on two different boats at a time. I will choose
Yes.
one. And I thought maybe starting up, understanding more about the industry is something that I will do. And
Hmm.
I took a leap of faith and I decided to leave my job. Drove down from Ahmedabad to Goa again,
Okay.
settled in Goa again, understood the market, worked with wedding planners, tried to understand the ground reality of destination weddings, met my co-founder, and that is how it all started. So yeah,
Wow. Like,
it was a long journey.
yes. And how you onboarded initial partners for where for your startup? Like, initial partners, वो कौन थे जो कि बोले, okay, we'll work with you?
So my co-founder, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Interestingly, I met him. I used to stay in Goa, right? So I was already doing research. He was already a part of one hospitality. Matlab, he was handling a hotel, and he had a little bit of experience in hospitality industry and
Mm-hmm.
investing in startups. He had already invested in 3 startups before, and he had
Mm.
gotten a good exit, pretty good exit. Okay, and I was staying in that particular complex on rent where he was staying already, right?
Okay.
He is working with PNG, Procter and Gamble. Okay, so he's quite an experienced guy. He is having around 20 25 years of experience in the industry, and he is
Mm.
my mentor. For me, he's Vijay sir. I call him Vijay sir. Okay, I met him while playing TT, and I was already looking for someone who can invest in my company. Because at that point of time, I had understood how to incorporate a company. I had done my research in Goa market. I worked with wedding planners and understood how this wedding industry is operating.
Mm. Mm.
Right.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I started looking. Went on LinkedIn. I messaged random people who are early stage startup investors. Venture capitalists and angel investors. कीवर्ड डाल के सर्च किया, डीएम्स करते गया, सबको सबको डीएम्स करते गया, ठीक
हाँ
है.
हाँ हाँ.
Spoke to a lot of people, but didn't get a lot of response from people because I didn't have an
Mm.
incorporated company. I didn't have a pitch deck. Okay, I just
Mm.
had a 5 6 liner idea in my mind, which I wanted someone to invest in. But I know for a fact that I will be able to make money because I was already working in wedding industry, and Oyo Weddings had shut down their operations in Goa market,
Mm.
and there was an opportunity which was still there after COVID-19, right?
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
I knew for a fact that we'll be able to make money. It's just that how are we going to start? So interestingly, where I was staying, I met my co-founder, Mr. Vijay Kumar. We were playing TT in that particular building, and I was actually talking. He was asking, "What do you do?" I was like, I'm working on a startup now. He's like, "Which startup?" I invest in startups. Like well,
Wow.
that's great. It's like बगल में बोलते नहीं क्या हम लोग बगल में है सब कुछ और ढूंढ रहे इधर उधर पूरी दुनिया में. So then what I did was I pitched him while playing TT. While playing TT, I pitched him. So he liked me as a guy. Okay, he
Mm.
thought I was a very genuine guy, and I had genuinely mentioned to him about what I was thinking, what I'm going to do, and a lot of things. And then in the complex, we thought we would speak for 10 minutes, and we spoke for 2 hours. We
Oh.
were just walking around in the building. Okay, that is how engrossed he was because he was already interested in this particular industry because he had one
Mm-hmm.
stint in destination weddings before. Because so he's already in Goa, settled over there, and there was one of his relative who wanted to do a destination wedding, and he had planned it for them, right?
Oh.
But then he faced a lot of problems while he was planning that particular destination wedding for his relatives, and then he realized, oh, there is a gap in this particular market, and he was already investing in startups. So he thought, matlab, he never thought he will also do this, but unless I came and pitched him about this particular idea and the solution. So that is when I met him, and he decided to invest in our company. He decided to invest in Awayddings. He is my first investor, partner, co-founder, mentor, everything.
Oh.
So that
Very
is how I met
interesting.
my co-founder. Yeah,
Wow.
it was an interesting journey. Yes,
Yes. It is because साइड में है और हम पूरा दुनिया को
होता है, ऐसा होता है.
right. And like talking about Awayddings, what do you think that what are the top three major problems that Awayddings is solving?
Yes. So after spending 2 years, 1.5 years, I can exactly tell you what three problems is. But while we were figuring out this particular problems, we were trying to understand what these top three problems
Hmm.
are, right?
Hmm.
Nobody gets to the problem statement directly, right? You have to do a lot of research and
Yes.
understand the industry.
Yes.
So after spending a lot of time, we figured out there were three major problems that that the couples are facing. So after speaking to 3,000 couples, we figured out that number one thing that the couples or the uncle or dads or moms they ask is like chacha mama सब लोग कॉल
हाँ
करके पूछते हैं ना कि अरे मेरे बेटी का मेरी भांजी का डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग करना है, राइट?
हाँ हाँ हाँ
कितने में होगा? ठीक है, व्हाट इज द बजट?
हम्म हम्म
Number one concern that the people have is what is the budget?
व्हाट
कि
इज
अरे
द
आशीष
बजट
सब चीज हटाओ, मेरे को बताओ कितने में होगा डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग पहले तो, ठीक है?
हम्म
Another problem that people face is the availability, because India is a very religious country and people depend on Murat dates for destination weddings, right?
राइट
So,
राइट
especially for weddings, right? So, people they ask is, ki, I am having this particular Murat date, I am interested in Goa, whether there is a good venue or resort that is available for these particular dates and this particular budget. Okay, this we figured it out of our research only, right? कि ये लोग पूछ रहे हैं और इसका solution हम लोग को बनाना है, क्योंकि इसी this is a market oriented approach, right?
राइट
When you are trying to disrupt a particular industry, you need to follow a market oriented approach in marketing. This is something we learned in marketing. Okay, you cannot follow a product oriented approach wherein you will say कि boss I am making a product and market will use it. It's not possible, right? Apple is doing that because Apple is having a lot of brand value over a period of time, which is why Apple will say, "Ki, boss, I am going to make two products and the
yeah
market is going to buy them," right?
yeah
But for someone like us, who is a startup who is entering a new market, you'll have to follow a market oriented approach, wherein you'll have to
true
say, Ki, I will make a product which the market likes, which the market wants, which the problem is getting faced by the market. So these were the two main problems that we figured out. And the other problem that we realized, which was the major problem statement that is being made for us, is I want to do a destination wedding. I don't know where to start. And I don't know where to start.
yes yes
So
true
like कैसे करूंगा मैं? कह रहे आशीष 10 लाख में डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग हो सकता है क्या? बोला,
hmm
जरूर हो सकता है. कैसे हो सकता है? कौन दे रहा है? Awayddings दे रहा है. Log on to awaydings.com and you can get your destination wedding booked in your budget,
hmm
which is how we came to this particular solution and this particular problem statement. And these were the three pain points. And apart from this, there is one more pain point which is there in the market, which people don't realize. It is one single point of contact. You know, when it
wow
comes to destination wedding, the
true
couples or the family need to speak with multiple vendors. मेहंदी
true
आर्टिस्ट से बात कर लिया, फोटोग्राफर से बात कर लिया, रिसोर्ट से बात कर लिया, right? They need to speak with a lot of people
hmm
before planning the destination wedding. So we are becoming that one single point of contact for them, so that their destination wedding booking is happening in a smooth and efficient manner. Yeah.
hmm
So these are the broad pain points that we are solving.
nice I mean if I will ask key okay let's say I want to do destination wedding. All I have to do is call Awayddings. I have to filter that okay, मुझे 100 लोगों को बुलाना है. I have this much of budget and I want this kind of resort or villa or whatsoever. And it's that
Yeah.
easy. Like it's that easy.
Yes.
Tell me the process
You
now.
don't even have
How
to
you can
call.
do it.
You don't. So I will take you to the customer journey. Right.
Okay. Yes.
You are thinking about destination wedding sitting in Raipur. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
You are thinking, let's say 100 guests का destination wedding करूंगा मैं. My girlfriend is saying कि I want to do a destination wedding in Goa, not in
Hmm.
Udaipur, Jaipur, Rishikesh, anywhere else. ठीक है,
Hmm.
Goa. So now you have 3-4 things or 3-4 variables in your mind, and almost 95% couples have these 3-4 variables in their mind, which is
Okay.
why we came up with a solution wherein you can log on to our platform. Like you can go, you don't even
Hmm.
have to speak with us. Okay, you don't even have to speak with us. You just have to go log on to our platform, select your destination, select your dates, select your total number of guests, put in your budget. These 4 variables will give you combinations of venues which are there in your particular requirements.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then you will get a short list of a lot of venues which are there in your budget according to your availability and a lot of
Hmm.
things, right? Which you have
Hmm.
mentioned. And then
Hmm.
you can go inside that particular resort. You can check out their wedding pictures, you can check out their wedding videos, you can check out the property pictures, and then you can go and figure out and play around with your budget also. Ki,
Okay.
Arey, I was thinking of 10 lakhs budget, but I think let's cut it down to 9 lakhs, 8.5 lakhs. Okay. So, abhi 100 guests ke liye you were supposed to book 50 rooms, two
Hmm.
guests each in one room for 2
Hmm.
nights. So now you will say, ki, boss, I won't book 50 rooms. what I will do is I will put 3 guests in one room. I will book just 34 rooms or 33 or 34 rooms. Okay. So what will happen is, now you have chosen triple occupancy rooms. Your budget is going to get decreased. And on
Okay.
our platform, you can figure out and play around with that budget. Now your budget will go to 8.3 lakhs, 8.4 lakhs. The remaining 1.5 lakhs could be used for your decor and wedding planning segment part, where you will book your artist, mehndi artist, decoration, and a lot of things. So that is how you can play around with your budget, and the process has become very smooth. You can, book your destination wedding resort in a matter of clicks. So this is how the customer journey is happening, and we are solving a huge problem for couples.
Okay, like it's that simple. It's
Yes.
that simple. And
Right.
there are many things in the wedding, right? Let's say
Correct.
I want कि यार मुझे डीजे नहीं ढोल चाहिए. ऐसे होता है ना कई लोगों का रिक्वायरमेंट. सो
होता है, हर एक का
उतना
होता है.
तो उतना पर्सनलाइज्ड वे में कैसे जा सकते हैं? आई वांट टू नो
So,
दैट एज वेल.
so basically, destination wedding में 2 segment होते हैं. Number one is
हम्म.
your resort booking, which comes with your
हम्म.
stay and food. Okay.
ओके.
Another thing is your decor and wedding planning, decoration and wedding planning. Okay.
ओके.
Decoration wedding planning में तुम्हारा आता है मेहंदी, makeup artist, घोड़ी, ढोल वाला,
हाँ हाँ
and
हाँ.
other things. So let's say if you are having a 10 lakh rupees budget for destination wedding for 50 guests. Okay.
हम्म.
Your
हम्म.
7 lakhs is going to go for your resort, which is your stay and food. Okay. 7 to 7.5 lakhs jata hai. Okay. And your 2 to 2.5 lakhs is going to go for your wedding planning, which is decor, mehndi, makeup artist, dol, ghodi, and lot of other things which are apart from your stay and food. Okay. Currently, what we are doing is we are trying to aggregate all the resorts in the country, which is going to offer stay and food for couples. Okay.
ओके.
क्योंकि क्या होता है, out of your 100% of your wedding budget, around 80% is going for your stay and food. 7 to 8 lakhs में तुम्हारा stay और food book हो रहा है, right? Remaining is going for your decor and wedding planning, right? So stay and food becomes the major chunk of the segment.
ओके.
Okay.
ओके.
And there are resorts all over the country who are doing destination weddings, right? So this is how we get onto a solution, a scalable solution, to be specific, wherein we can aggregate all the resorts in the country who are doing destination wedding, right?
ओ.
We are aggregating all the resorts who can do destination weddings in the country, so that customers can come and book the resorts, and on our platform you can figure out the decor and wedding planning budget for that particular resort. So
ओके.
in that resort it is mentioned कि तुम्हारा वेडिंग प्लानिंग और डेकोर में ऑन एन एवरेज कितना खर्चा होगा, क्योंकि कोई 10 लाख खर्चा करेगा, कोई 4 लाख खर्चा करेगा, कोई 2 लाख खर्चा करेगा, कोई 8 लाख खर्चा करेगा, बट एवरेज इतना खर्चा हो रहा है ये पर्टिकुलर रिसोर्ट के लिए, वो हमारे वेन्यू के इसमें लिखा हुआ होता है, बिकॉज that is a customized segment wherein our wedding planners who are there on our payroll, they are handling that particular wedding planning segment, because it is more of a customized thing, and we are trying to figure out a scalable solution for customizing your wedding online, right? And we have figured out a pattern as well for that. Maybe I won't disclose that pattern now. Maybe in the next podcast we will try and discuss about that.
Okay. And like in this whole journey, I'm pretty sure you have to groom to whomsoever you collaborate with, the like it is it hotel or it is resorts or something. You have to groom them, right? That this is our standard. You should go like this. Like in, for example, in Oyo has their guidelines, right? If you want to collaborate with Oyo, you have to follow these things. Like, for
Hmm.
example, you have to have a bed sheet like this. So, is there any
Hmm.
guidelines from your end to the resorts or the hotels?
So as of now, we are a startup, so we
Hmm.
don't have any set guidelines as
Okay.
such. Right now, we are having a solution like Trip or Booking.com, right? Wherein customers can come and book the resort. Okay. We are not having any standardization as such. We are just a Trip or Booking.com kind of thing for destination wedding booking for resorts,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So we are just doing that. And talking about the customization or grooming part, maybe going ahead down the line, we are having something that is planned, which is there in our pipeline. Okay, which we are going to implement. Okay,
Okay.
I won't be able to disclose that now, because, of course, that is going to be our
I
USP,
understand. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I won't be able to disclose it. Yeah.
Okay. नाइस. ओके. आशीष भाई, ये 2.36 मिनट्स बचा है, तो वापस रिजॉइन करे क्या? एक
हाँ,
क्वेश्चन है लास्ट मेरा, देन वी विल
ओके,
समराइज, है ना? या.
ठीक है.
Okay, so we talked about wedding industry, and we specifically talked about how exactly this destination wedding works and what is the pain point, that major pain point that people face while they are opting for this. So now let's move towards your LinkedIn profile, because nowadays the content that you are creating are really interesting, first of all. So, and in one of post you talked about sales, that what B school teaches you and the actual FMCG sales that you have to do in reality is totally different. So let's dig down into that as well.
Oh, interesting. So recently, I mean, so in the past 2 years, self-learning and going through the grind has taught me a lot of things,
Hmm.
especially a lot about entrepreneurship, marketing, problem solving, goal setting, people management. There are a lot of things that I learned in the past 2 years because of this startup and my venture, right? And in this particular process, I figured out that there are a lot of people out there who are doing their MBA and trying to understand what is happening in the market. But
Hmm.
then I tried to figure out 3 years back, 4 years back, when I was sitting in that particular MBA classroom and trying to understand the reality of the market sitting over there by understanding the concepts, right? And
Hmm.
I was having a work experience of 1.5 years, right? So it was a little easy for me to figure out what is happening because I had a little bit of manufacturing experience, I had a little bit of sales marketing experience. So it was a little easy for me to get into the professor's shoes and try to understand what he's talking because he was an
Okay.
experienced professor
Yeah.
with 30 years of experience in the FMCG industry. So I realized that there are a lot of MBA students who might be facing a lot of problems because they are not having experience.
Hmm.
They may not be understanding the concepts that well because they are not able to relate to it, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in entrepreneurship, the daily thing that we do is convince people about a lot of things
Yeah.
by giving real information and real
Yeah.
data and talking sense, right?
Yeah.
So if we teach students about this particular thing that is happening around in the market, the reality of the market, they will be able to understand the concepts more better. I mean,
Hmm.
they will be able to understand the concepts in a easy way, in a
Hmm.
relatable way, by telling them about the brands that are there around them, the campaigns and the marketing activities that are going around them, so they are able to relate to that particular activity. And if
Hmm.
we are telling a concept that is happening in the behind in corporate, when people are thinking about this particular concept, students understand more and they are more engrossed in it, right? So I thought maybe let's try out teaching. Okay, let's try out teaching students because ahead down the line I am having a plan to create a course on how to start a startup. It's going
Okay.
to be an online course. This is something which is there in my pipeline, and I thought maybe I will start off with teaching students first because let's understand the pulse of students, right?
Hmm.
Let's understand what they are thinking, what doubts come in their mind, right? Let's understand what kind of teaching are these people expecting, right?
Hmm.
Which is why
Hmm.
I thought maybe let's get into teaching marketing first. And I went to a few colleges. I did demo lectures. In fact, in the first demo lecture itself, I got an opportunity because I was trying to relate practical reality with the concepts, and the students loved it. Okay,
Hmm.
because I
Okay.
was giving
Nice.
them relevant examples,
Hmm.
very relevant examples. And the way I'm teaching right now is I'm trying to tell them the story behind a brand first by giving them examples about multiple brands and teaching them the concept later, which is when they are
Okay.
able to relate to the concept very easily. Because someone with no experience after coming from commerce, engineering, or
Hmm. Hmm.
BBA or something like that, they aren't able to relate to these particular things. Which is why
Exactly.
I tell them the concept and the reality first as to this is going to happen, and then I tell them the reality first and then try to explain the concept. It becomes very easy for the students. Also, apart from that, there is a huge gap in what teachers are teaching and what is the ground reality, right?
Hmm.
We learn a lot of jargons in our B schools, but the reality, like I mentioned in my LinkedIn post, is boss माल कितना बेचा, कितना सेल्स हुआ,
Ah.
कितना धंधा हुआ, ठीक
Hmm,
है?
hmm.
That is the reality. So
Yeah.
students should not get into management trainee position later and they will be like, अरे ये क्या बात कर रहा है? We had learnt about sales, revenue, gross profit, gross margin. What is kitna dhanda ho? What is this guy talking? Right? And then they, get demotivated and nervous in their job roles. Right.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
then they switch to other profiles, get into comfortable IT profile, wherein people are not talking all these things and getting into corporates. So I thought there is a huge gap in this particular thing, and as I'm very good at identifying gaps, understanding problems, creating solutions. So it becomes very easy for me to teach students because I'm having a lot of experience before in the past 6 7 years, and I'm trying to gather that particular experience and teach concepts to the students. So I'm
Hmm.
really enjoying it. This is something that I want to do in the long run, creating course, teaching students, maybe getting into education, maybe later down the line. This was
Oh,
something
okay.
which I had planned. Uh, this is the down the line vision that I have.
Hmm.
So, which is why I'm starting out small by teaching MBA students first, and maybe see how it goes down the line.
Yeah, nice. Like it's always good to compare the book with the actual practical implementation of it in the
Correct.
current,
Yeah,
with current examples that we have around us. Awesome.
yeah.
Like
But
मुझे
it is
पहले
always
मिल
good
जाना था.
to it is always good to question what is happening around us because normally people don't question. People
Right.
think this is happening. We should
Hmm,
accept it.
hmm, hmm,
Nobody thinks, "Arey boss, why is this happening?
hmm, hmm.
Is there a better way?" Okay, so
Right.
nobody thinks about this, right? And
Hmm,
I am pushing students to become more curious. In
hmm.
fact, in my class, I make students teach me. What is your experience related to this? There must be something that you have done in your internship or your life project or somewhere which is relatable to this particular concept.
Hmm.
Then they try and think, and then they realize, okay, I had done something like this. Then they realize, oh, this is easy. This is easy.
Ah, nice, nice.
Yeah. So
Wow,
that is how it is.
great. Okay, maybe some ed tech startup in the future.
No plan. I am very happy with Awayddings right now, and I am looking forward to making this particular brand a huge success in Indian market. And I am very much focused on this particular startup right now. This is something which is education is something which is my passion. I like teaching. I like talking to people, and
Mhm.
I will do something about it maybe later.
Great, great. Yeah. So we talked about a lot of things. In the end, my last question to you is like you came from that corporate world and started your own venture. So if someone who is watching this and he is into corporate currently and want to switch his career into entrepreneurship, what exactly he will require?
Oh, that's a really tough question. Okay, I am not someone who can give a specific answer because there is no specific answer to this,
Yeah,
right?
there's no, yes.
If you ask a lot of founders, like I mentioned before, nobody is going to have a specific answer to this. And if somebody is giving a specific answer, he is not talking sense to you.
Hmm, hmm,
That
hmm,
is what
hmm,
I can say because there is no specific answer to this. Nobody can vouch and say, "Ki, boss, you have to do this." Okay,
hmm.
there is no set process in entrepreneurship. There is no set process in jumping from corporate to entrepreneurship, right? It is just your gut feeling, right?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
you are in that particular phase where you cannot see long term. See, try to understand this. Okay, if I am working for a company like, let's say, Zomato, okay, so I am an area sales manager or an employee at Zomato.
Hmm.
Okay, if I am trying to get into entrepreneurship, I will have to think about what is going on in Dipinder Goyal's mind, right? What is he looking 20 years down the line or 10 years down the line? You need to have a vision about what you're doing.
Yeah.
If And most early stage entrepreneurs don't have vision. They
Hmm.
just jump into it. Okay. And I agree. Even I jumped into it. I didn't have a vision, but the vision got molded.
Hmm.
The vision came in together
Down the line,
because
yes.
I spent time. Most early stage entrepreneurs, what they do is they do things out of FOMO. They think I will do this, I'm going to start this business, and they make a lot of mistakes. And that is why 95% of the startups fail in the first 3 years. Everybody knows this reality, yet people jump into startups without understanding about startups, and they don't want to stick around. They get,
Yes.
they get walked away because of major setbacks, like okay, I got a rejection from an investor. Okay, I didn't get sales in this particular month. I didn't get sales for past 2 months, right? So everybody goes 2 steps behind when like these setbacks happen. And there are 95 setbacks that I have written on LinkedIn that can happen when you're doing a startup. Right,
Yes.
95, because 95% of startups fail, and I think I have 95 reasons why, because of which I'm standing here and facing all these setbacks. Right, I
Hmm.
have faced a lot of setbacks in my startup journey. In fact, I got rejected from around 70 investors. 70. I have the list as well with me. Right, I got rejected from 70 investors till the time I got the 71st one who invested. Okay, so these setbacks are going to happen, and an entrepreneur, if he's starting something, he needs to figure out what his long-term vision is. He needs to understand whether he is solving a real problem or not. He needs to understand whether the product or solution he's creating is going to make a difference or not. If it is not going to make a difference, how I can change to make a difference, right?
Hmm.
All these qualities a entrepreneur needs to understand. Then only he can jump to that point wherein he can incorporate a private limited company, and he says ki, okay, I am the director of the company now, I know how to make this particular company or this particular brand big. So there is no set process to this. You just need to understand the market reality. Just need to understand the problems faced by the customer, and you need to understand whether I can create a scalable long term solution to this particular problem
Hmm.
in a organized manner by using technology, by using people, resources, whatever it is. And that is when you are in a position to switch from your corporate to your entrepreneurial journey full time. Okay. But then, having said that, you know for a fact that nobody is going to follow a set process, because
Yeah.
everybody goes on the gut feeling, and everybody learns from their own mistakes. It's just that
Yep.
you should be in a position to make more mistakes, learn from them,
Hmm.
stand up again, move move on, right? That is what I would say. Like I mentioned in one of my posts as well, learning things from people or getting success doesn't teach you a lot of things. Okay,
Hmm.
making
But
mistakes is going to teach
mistakes.
you a lot of things.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so make more mistakes and get up again, move on, try to solve them again. Okay, make mistakes, try to figure out solutions. Success is not going to teach you a lot, mistakes are going to teach you a lot.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
in order to jump from corporate to entrepreneurship, you'll have to take that leap of faith and try to
Hmm.
spend more time in entrepreneurial journey, understand, learn, talk to entrepreneurs like you, me, and a lot of others
Hmm.
who are
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
that journey. Try to understand their thought process, and then you figure out a lot of solutions. Because then you get to know कि अरे बॉस ये भी मेरे जैसा है, इसने भी वैसा फेस किया
Ah.
था. So
Right.
if
Right.
I
Right.
am facing this particular thing right now, then I can also solve this, because that particular guy solved it and
Hmm.
he's
Hmm.
over
Hmm.
here now, right?
True.
So
True.
even I can do this. So
Yeah. Like
that is
ultimately
what
it
is going
all
to be.
boils down to कि वो रोड मैप बहुत मैंने देखा है कि people tends to or wants to see clear vision initially, which is very wrong when it comes to
Not
entrepreneurship.
possible.
You cannot see clear vision until you grind, you face failures, you do mistakes, and ultimately you will see the clear vision. Okay, boss, I found product fit which market needs, right? So yeah,
Yes.
yes. Okay, it was really nice talking to you. My best wishes to you. I'm pretty sure that your product is going to boom because it, like that first glimpse was, I was like, okay, fine, brother, this is it. This is going to boom.
That's great. I don't know it, but you don't know it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. At least best wishes from my end. So yeah, thank you so much for making this possible.
Thanks, Vedant. It was great interacting with you. And those were really nice questions that you had framed, because
Thank
these
you.
questions took me back into my 2 years journey. And it is always good to go behind and
Go behind.
replicate
Yes.
on what has happened in the past 2-3 years in your journey, so that you understand more, learn from it, and uh, don't make a lot of mistakes. Because now, after making a lot of mistakes, you exactly know where you need to stop and what you need to do. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for this. Thanks for this particular podcast, and all the best for your listening podcast series as well.
Yes.
I
Thank you.
am looking forward to listen uh, from a lot of entrepreneurs about their journey, so that I learn from them. I listen to a lot of podcasts. In fact, one of my favorite podcasts is Founders Unfiltered by a junior VC by Aviral Bhatnagar. Big fan of that particular podcast. I've learned a lot from that podcast. And if there are a lot of other entrepreneurs who are watching this particular podcast, I would recommend you guys to listen to this particular podcast. Also, of course, the great man himself, Ankur Wariku. You can also
Yeah.
listen to his podcast as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And of course, Vedant's podcast. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah. So, all the best. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks, Vedant, for doing this. Yeah.
Thank you.